What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 30 Minutes of Hell. I am your host, Brandon Baker, joined as always by Joey Jackson and Matt Jackson. And we've got something to talk about. I don't know if I would call it Razorback Hoops, but something. Um, Arkansas had one of the more abysmal performances I've ever seen from them in their last game against Auburn. So much so that I kind of feel the same way Cal does when he walked into the locker room and basically said, no film study, no talking about it. Get on the bus, let's go home. Like, I don't want to talk about stats from this game. Like, obviously, we're going to get into it. We'll talk about, effort, players, some things that went on. But I'm just hoping that this was nothing more than a wash, a quick turnaround on the road, an Auburn team that had their backs against the wall, a lot of things that just factored into Arkansas having their worst game of the season. And hopefully it stays their worst game of the season and we don't see a trend develop from this.
I mean, it was embarrassing.
Yeah,
Yep.
it
It's
was.
one of the worst performances I've seen like ever. Like I mean, even with the last year of Muss, it was at least there were some guys showing some effort. This time nothing. There was nothing there.
The worst thing too is the expectation, right? Like that last year with Muss, it was pretty apparent pretty early that that was not
Hmm.
going to be a good team. This is like we're still talking about Final Four aspirations, and like it happens, right? Like it's basketball. It can't be a trend, and that's kind of what I'm worried about is that the reason that we lost had to do more with effort, with our transition defense, with our defense in general, things that have been okay a lot of the time, but we've seen in plenty of games where those have been issues. Even in like the mid-major games that we barely won, those are some of the issues. So there are small trends showing, and they became big trends in this game specifically. Again, the hope is that you don't see a lot of that continue to develop and become bigger problems, but it's the way they lost. It's the things that we keep coming back to with defense, with effort, with things like that that worries me more than the fact that it was a loss. Good teams lose games. It happens. It was a blowout. We got down early. Knox goes down hurt. We're on the road. Like it happens. We let go of the rope. But I'm more concerned about like there were times where a cuff was at the top of the key and we would miss a shot or turn the ball over and he would be his responsibility would be to get back defensively and he wasn't doing it. He was jogging down the court. He was letting guys, and he's not the only one, but there were many situations where I can remember where he was the guy that was his task, his duty, and he wasn't doing it. And that's worrisome from him. He's already not like an excellent defender. He's strong and he's capable, but when you combine that kind of effort, it worries me.
Well, and the reason that we've been talking about this team having the potential to be really good defensively is because of the effort. So when you're already not a naturally great defensive team and then you're lacking the effort on top of that, you put yourself that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. And Auburn clearly showed that when they just picked us apart, and I don't there's really no words to describe what happened on defense. It was just everything went wrong. There were miscommunications. There was nobody giving effort. Brazil was in one area, A Cup was in another area, just not guarding anybody, letting them get drive by. I mean, I think I saw a world record of dunks by one player, and it was ridiculous. And it's just an effort thing. And we shouldn't be having to talk about effort to this team out of all teams, this team.
And I mean, you can I try to justify myself with Keyshawn Hall scoring 30 points against us. I try to justify that with, well, our one guy who's equipped to guard a player like that, a 6'7" wing, was out, the entirety of the game. But that's not gonna that's not gonna save a 22-point loss. Like just him being in there. There was just so much, and I'm on the same plane as you, Brandon. This has to be a fluke. This is not at all the team that we've seen this season.
There was a point early, I say early, it was late in the first half where we kind of started to mount a little bit of a run, slowed their momentum, got it back to single digits, and then like we lost that, and it felt like once we weren't able to surmount that comeback, it felt like they were ready to go home. Like this was their second road game in a row. At that point, it was just like I feel like they felt the same way we did. Just get this game over, get out of here, and let's see what's next. And like I don't know, the game was not that far out of hand at that point in time for it to be feeling that way. And I understand that Auburn's a hard place to play, and they were hot, right? Like I mean, they shot like almost 50% from three as a team. Some of that because we were not playing good defense at all. Like we were giving up some looks, but like a lot of them were also contested, right? Like let's give them credit. They were hot. They hit some big shots early that we could not recover from, but it just felt like we just let go of the rope and we were just tired of this game too quickly.
I think I think my biggest concern is I have not seen us get punched in the mouth early and respond well. Like it happened against Houston, we weren't able to weather that storm after being punched in the mouth early. We just haven't. I want to see us be able to take a hit and recover from it, and we weren't able to recover from this one at all.
Yeah.
Not a hit
I
that big, right?
Yeah, I feel like we've had a few like tiny ones, but not against like
Hmm.
stellar opponents.
Exactly,
We need to
exactly.
take hits from these big ones, and get back on track. We can't just let this game go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
I
saw.
feel like, oh, go ahead.
We talk about like taking it from big, better teams, right? And I just something I wanted to touch on also. I saw a lot of people talking about how did we lose to a 9-6 squad. I want to point out that six of Auburn's losses. I don't have their schedule right in front of me, but I mean we're talking like Michigan, Purdue, Arizona. Like those are their losses, and two SEC losses by less than 6 points combined before they
And
came. Like this is
I
not a bad team that we
No,
played.
not at all. I
No.
do want to call out that in our last episode, I did say I think Auburn and Auburn's fans are going to be itching for a win after losing by a combined 6 points in their first SEC games,
Yeah.
and
Their
they
backs
came
were
out
against the wall.
hot.
They were
Yeah,
they were dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt. Continue your
No,
point.
I'm sorry. It was I was going to go on about offense and how it felt like we relied heavily on hitting threes, especially when they were hitting threes. I know we didn't shoot as many as we have. I feel like in previous games, I think we had 21 attempts against Auburn, and I think Ole Miss we had a few more. But it felt like that's what we were relying on, and they weren't good looks. They were just quick takes. Like A Cup would dribble down and shoot one. Brandon's got a stat. I see it in his face.
Well, I mean a little bit, but not so much the stat itself, but like it felt like we flipped a switch before the game started, and we only took threes in the first half.
Yes.
Cal got mad about it, and then we didn't take any in the second, which is a strong
Yeah.
suit of ours. Like I don't want to force threes, but when we are a top 13-ish 3-point shooting team in the country, you still have to like use that.
Yeah.
But
And Cal said at halftime, he's like, I told him like it's bully ball, you got to get in the paint. And I will say Brazil took that to heart, and he came out the gate the second half and bullied and was scoring, was doing well. I need
mhm.
to see a more aggressive Trevin Brazil. Hasn't seemed aggressive in that aspect. Yes, he's been hitting some threes like crazy, but I want to see the Brazil that can get in the paint and make something happen as well. Because there's going to be nights where shots are not falling. That was one of them. And we got our butts kicked. So let's figure out how to get into some sets and run some half court offense and get Brazil the ball in the paint. Or how about just not rely on threes all the time? I know it's a big part, but get good looks, get open looks, and not just these dribble up one or two passes and throw something up.
Yeah. Um, and I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit too. I think it's a little bit underappreciated how much we did miss Knox in this game. He's not been the level of player that we wanted him to be, but we are like I threw a stat out a couple pods ago about how in our high major games so far we are undefeated when Carter Knox takes at least 8 shot attempts. Like when he is being aggressive, and we're undefeated when Carter Knox gets at least 6 rebounds or whatever the stat was. Like when he is there and being aggressive, we play better and we play well. And we were already losing when he got injured. He played 7 minutes. He was a -8 in 7 minutes. So like that's not all on him, but like we were already down fairly decently when he was injured and left the game. But not having his presence defensively on the offensive glass, being able to stretch the floor as a jump shooter, like that hurts a lot. And I bring that up to say that we don't know that he'll be back this next game. It was a hip injury that he had. He didn't practice on Monday. Like we don't know when Knox is going to be back. If he's going to be back for the South Carolina game, if it's a prolonged absence, like that is a big storyline to me that like I feel like it's bigger than it feels because Knox has not been as good as we want him to be. He's still vital. He's still like affecting winning and important to the team.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't have a lot else for this game. I mean, we talked about it. A lot of weird factors, terrible effort. At this point, it's just watch the trends and like our defense has not been good or like great in a lot of games. It's been fine enough that our offense has been able to outpace the other team when we're scoring 88, 87, 92 points a game. But in a game like this where our defense was exposed, all of a sudden I mean, we talked about it. We changed our entire offensive philosophy at halftime, and we can't afford to do stuff like that. We have to be able to play our game, and the defense has to be able to just hold us in the game long enough so that the offense can be as good as it is. And that was really the biggest key in this one. Our defense just wasn't there on any level. So, but moving on from that, like it's hard even as a fan. Like it's been a couple days now since the game, and we're all sitting here still pissed. Like I don't even want to watch the next game. Like it's got to be better, and I hope that Cal can get that through their heads too, right? Because the worst thing about, or the good thing about this game is that it goes in the column as one loss. The worst thing will be if we let it affect us and turn into two losses. You can't let this type of game bleed into the next one. You've got to bounce back with or without Knox. South Carolina is not a good enough team to beat us, especially not at home. Like this is a must win, must bounce back opportunity. So with that being said, let's get into a little bit South Carolina preview.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
They are not a team that has like that one or two like household names that some of these SEC squads have. But I feel like they have several guys that can hurt you, a couple of versatile scorers, and it can be dangerous. But again, I don't think that they're the level of team that should ever beat us in Bud Walton Arena or really on the road either. But starts with Michi Johnson. He's been around for a long time. 14 points per game. A smaller guard. I want to see a lot of DJ Wagner on him. I've talked a little bit about how like I'm not in love with Darius Acuff's defense right now, and I want to see more DJ, maybe Billy, some guys like that on Michi Johnson. Slow down that lead scorer. He leads the team in assists. He's kind of their engine offensively. They've got a few other guys in double figure scoring, but that's the headliner. If there's one name that you need to know from that. But then there's also they've got I'm not even going to pretend like I know how to pronounce
Mike.
Mike.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike
6'8".
from Mongolia.
He is actually, I do know this. He is the first Mongolian to ever earn a D1 scholarship for basketball.
That's pretty
But
impressive.
I can't pronounce his last name. I'm very
job,
sorry,
Mike.
Mike. He's averaging 12 points a game. He's been playing well lately. He played well in one of their SEC games. A threat to score the ball, a versatile guy. He's listed at like 6'9", but he's a guard, like a forward guard. So just a long, lanky, versatile forward type player. And then Elijah Strong is the one that I wanted to bring up because he had a little bit of an outburst in their win, their one SEC win. I think it was 30 points that he scored scored against LSU in their one win 2 games ago, and so like he's been a little volatile this season, but is one of those guys where if we let him get a clean look at three or a couple of transition baskets or whatever, if he sees that ball go through the hoop, the exact type of player that can quickly drop 20, 25 on us and become a problem. So those are the big names for me to watch for. What are you guys seeing in this matchup, in this game, aside from just Arkansas can't be the same team they were 3 days ago?
Here's my thing. I'm specifically looking at Mike because that's the interesting matchup at the 6'9" guard spot without Knox. Like we're gonna have to maybe lean into some zone. May have to put Billy on him for a bit. We just I mentioned earlier we Knox is just that one guy who can guard that unique kind of 1 through 4 spot, and I that's where I'm concerned about. Um, I'm if there's any game to sit Knox though, to give him the time to heal, it's this one. I think that we can weather the storm without Knox in this game. I think we can still come out and win without him. But then looking ahead on the schedule, we've got Georgia after that on Saturday. Then we've got Vanderbilt. I'd much rather have a 100% healthy Knox for those games than a 70% Knox now, 75 Georgia, 80, Um I I want him to, be a guy that's healthy for those bigger games. Not that this isn't a big game. If we go down 2 SEC losses in a row, it hurts. But I think that if there's any game that we can afford to not have him, it's this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you as far as that matchup being the most interesting because I'm gonna have to have Billy on him. I don't have we ever ran zone
Like
with
one
Cal?
possession at a time.
Yeah,
It's never a constant thing.
it's one of those things where I feel like it's almost a forgotten art where if we do, it can really hurt some teams, but shooting is so good that it's hard to go zone. But either way, you're gonna have to have Billy on him, and Billy is gonna have to stay out of foul trouble. That is my like key factor. If Knox doesn't play, that is.
Mhm.
Hopefully he's good, but if he doesn't play, it's going to be up to Billy to guard without fouling and be a menace. And I think Wagner as well. I think those two defensively are going to be huge. But overall, I mean, win this game. They're not amazing. They're not a good rebounding team.
I was just gonna say, Matt, that
And
I think that Billy and Brazil are gonna be X factors on the offensive glass here because they don't
yeah,
rebound the ball defensively very well.
yeah. I mean, I want to see our guys. I want to see Ewan. I want to see Pringle, the two offensive rebounding gurus, do their job. All right, do their job, and then just obliterate them on the offensive glass and win us this game. Get back. Just show us that it was a fluke, please. Please don't have me watch this game until the end and not be able to go to sleep because I'm so stressed out. All right. Just like, please win by a good margin.
You brought it up, Matt. If Knox is out, there are three things for me that I'm paying attention to. Biggest one being what you already said. Billy Richmond has to be available. He has to be a positive influence on the court for sure. But he has been most of the time this season, but he's not going to be a positive influence if he's sitting next to Cal with 3 fouls in 7 minutes of action, right? Like that can't happen because now we go from 8 rotation players, we're down to Knox, and then we lose Billy. Like that's going to hurt a lot having to go small and play like that. So Billy's X factor number one. I'm curious if we see Isaiah Sealy in this game if Knox doesn't play. That's number two for me. And if we don't, even if we do, but if we don't, I'm curious to see if maybe we go double bigs more. If we see some Pringle and Ewan on the court together, uh, I don't know that it would be a strategic move necessarily from Cal to say we got to rebound against this team, but just out of necessity of not having that backup four the way that Knox plays it, needing to soak up some of those minutes. I wouldn't be surprised. We saw it a little bit at the end of the Auburn game, and it was kind of almost like Cal just throwing something at the wall, like let's see if we can just get something to happen, some momentum. But I wouldn't be surprised at all to see that duo share the court a little bit more if Knox is not available. And I would like to see it. Especially because we're playing a team that I think we can take advantage of on the glass. If you have both of these guys out there together, like I think it could be a positive, a positive factor. Kind of going back to what Joey said about this being an okay matchup to not have Knox in. If you're able to take advantage on the glass by playing both of your bigs in this game, then it's a great game to not have Knox available in. So some things I'm paying attention to. But another thing that you brought up too, Joey, that why this feels like such a must win. You've got Georgia next and Vanderbilt after that, a combined 2 losses on the season. Vanderbilt is still undefeated. Somehow they're somehow incredible at basketball. They've got one of the best point guards in the country, and with that kind of loss, like it's one loss in the record book, right? But the margin of loss and the problems we're seeing are starting to show up and continue to affect the metrics. Like now we're getting into the talks of we're about to drop a seed line if we start losing games. Like we could be a 4 seed if we go on a little run, but if we're going to play like that and have that kind of game define our metrics, we're going to be fighting for like a 7 seed at this point. So this becomes a must win with the way that the schedule shapes up after this with Georgia and Vanderbilt. I think in our next 3 we have to go 2-1. It would be fantastic to go 3-0, but I mean, Georgia and Vanderbilt are both going to be very difficult opponents. You have to at least split those 2 games, and you have to beat South Carolina. And then after that, I feel like we can beat LSU, we can beat Oklahoma, we can beat Kentucky, we can beat Mississippi State. Like we go on a stretch there after that Georgia Vanderbilt back to back that I feel good about going on a little run and putting getting some momentum back, but it starts with this one. You have to bounce back. You can't let it bleed into another game and cause a second loss.
Well, and it just we can't go with 2 unranked losses to start this season. Like that just looks horrible on the resume.
Yeah, absolutely it does. Okay, so how do you guys feel? Are we gonna bounce back in this game? Win at
Absolutely.
home?
Yep.
I assume so. So let's hear a score prediction.
I'll go first.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so here's my hot take of the season. We're gonna win.
I
We're
see.
we're gonna. I'm predicting a 15-point or more win. I think
Okay.
that Auburn was a complete fluke, or not Auburn. Yes, Auburn. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
The Hogs have me going crazy. Okay, I think Auburn was a complete fluke. I'm predicting that we win 87-70.
Okay.
It's a big spread.
I am going to say our offense finds its rhythm and we're going to get upwards to the 90s. All right. I'm going to say we're going to have 92 points. And I think it's going to be 92-80.
Okay. Okay. I feel like I keep falling like right between you guys on the score predictions, like as far as how much Arkansas is going to score, because I've got mine written down right now too, and it's like dead center. I think it will be a double-digit win. I think the offense clicks. I think that Cal can get this team to bounce back and understand how unacceptable that was, whatever we just witnessed. I'm going Arkansas 89, South Carolina 79. I'll go 10 on the dot. I think that I don't know. I think we'll still see them kind of maybe hung over a little bit from that, but a double-digit win nonetheless. Better offense with or without Knox. I think that this should be no contest, especially at home.
Yeah.
This should be a statement victory to show we can bounce back from something like this. Like that is not the team that we are. This is who we are. This should be like our catapult forward. Like this should give us the momentum to go against Georgia, to go against Vanderbilt in these next couple games with momentum. Like we shouldn't fall into a hole after that one game.
Tell you what, the fans need it for sure. These 3 fans need it for sure.
The best start
I'm
that
fine.
we've had in our lifetime, and Matt's like, "Oh, we're dying here. Give us a win, Hogs."
Dude. Listen, it would be one thing if we lost by 3. It's another that we lost by 30. I mean, it's insane.
It was embarrassing. Oh,
And it's the expectation that kills you, right? Like if this kind of stuff happens when we expect, like we're hoping to get an 8 seed and sneak into the tournament, it doesn't hurt as bad. But when we think we can be a Final Four team and you lose to an unranked team by 20 plus, that stings a little worse. So, all right, well, you heard it here first. Arkansas bounces back, double-digit win. It's time to go on a run and prove that was a fluke. That's all the time we have for you guys today. Appreciate you tuning in. Quick reminder, we are brought to you by the Field of 68 Podcast Network. You can find us on YouTube, on Twitter, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your stuff. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a review, leave a comment, whatever it is you do on those sites. It really helps us out. We really appreciate it, especially if you like the content we're bringing you. Really hope that we can bring you some more positive content soon. Pods like this suck when we have to talk about these kind of losses, so let's get it done this next game, Hogs. But until next time, I have been your host, Brandon Baker, joined as always by Joey Jackson and Matt Jackson. And as always, go Hogs.
Thanks, everyone.
Woo pig.